get 8 different systems to increase our player power in Where Winds Meet, and we're going to go over every single one today to make you be powerful early on. And most importantly, we're going to click here in details and talk about your hidden stats that you need to get to 50, or you won't be able to equip better weapons, items in the future, since they're gated behind these stats. Number 1 is the tripling of your damage by upgrading your martial arts, and you should always have your 2 main martial arts be as highly upgraded as possible. Keep in mind here that upgrading a martial art to 20 is really cheap because you're only spending your coins. That's quite simple, right? You just get more damage, It doesn't deplete some of the other rarer resources, which means if you want to try out something, push it to 20. However, afterwards, after you start actually breaking through is here every 10 levels. You'll have to get the Bellstrike Umbra pages, which you can easily buy from the season shop, by the way. Yep, do not be shy, get them yourself, and then you pretty much choose which one you need. I already have 6 of those bought. It's going to give me the Bellstrike Umbra right away for my weapon. And as I then break through, I'm going to wholesale increase what the weapon does. But I will also need the Scarlet Flame Ointment, which I have 23 out of 2 for, because I've been killing things. And after breaking through, you can keep upgrading and increase your damage, but you will need that Pine Resin Ointment on top of your coins. Now, 113 seems like a lot, but it's not. You're gonna really fast run out of these. That's why we're saying after level 20, 30, maybe start focusing on certain weapons. However, do keep in mind that there is a reset button, bottom right corner. You'll get 100% of the materials back that you have so far invested. Later levels is going to be 80%. The current martial arts can be reset for free one time this season. Every martial art can be reset one time for free. Ergo, try out, play around with things. Unlock every other ones as soon as we have Kai Fang now. Then make a choice and keep investing the resources into that specific martial art. Next one are your 2 talent trees. First one is under the develop menu. If you go over Bob, those are your normal talents. And then if you travel to the right side of the region number 1, you get the Melodies of Peace Oddity Vendor. Both are equally important, or you're going to miss out on tons of player power. The Oddity Vendor has the advantage of also upgrading your hidden stats in a passive way. Talk about that in the hidden stats section. Now, the Oddity Vendor gives you simple things like more attack power. It gives you more defense, more life. In order to upgrade here, you'll need tons of oddities. We're talking about the butterflies, the crickets, hornet's nests, whatever. And yes, you'll need 6 for a single upgrade. 3. For the back here, another 6. Before it was 4, 4, and 2, and 2. And as you can actually see here, I have done mostly all of them. The only thing I didn't do is damage versus monsters in the first region, because we're going to leave that region now. Why would I get more damage or more gold from them? Everything that's passively available, like the more attack we talked about, the more health, the more defense, take those. But the ones that are regional locked, like damage versus elite monsters in the first area, nah. Why would I take that? What I'm trying to say is go absolutely crazy on the oddity gathering, because you absolutely don't want to miss out on any of these ever. Also, gathering these oddities does another thing. It will actually increase some of your stats. For example, your bow will need 50 perception from level 60 onwards, so you can actually equip a new one. And as you can see, I'm already at 53 perception. As you then click on one of these stats, you can actually check what you need to do to bring these up. You can participate in the archery competitions and/or start collecting a certain oddity. Why do I say a certain one? Because all of these give you something different. This one, for example, gives me now perception. Yes. And they always give perception. The ones that are hidden, the crickets, they give you mindset. Not all of the stats are needed for new equipment. Your weapons, for example, require constitution. Your armor requires coordination. Your rings, they need perception as the bow. And then your jewelry needs you to have erudition. Again, the way to find your stats is go into your develop menu, then on details, and go down to your exploration mastery. On another hand, if you upgrade these exploration mastery stats, you also get respective skills. If I now bring my musicality up, I get the final score of Grace and Melody increased by 5%. I have my perception and elegance up, increases arrow flight speed by 20% during archery. It actually increases everything you do, which is quite nice. Why is my erudition only 44? Well, because I haven't messed around with universal harmony at all. These are the golden butterflies, it's really hard to find them. However, you could also interact with the meow meows throughout the map. So if you ever get annoyed by having to do those little cat side quests, don't be. You want your erudition up. And not only do you want your erudition up, the actual cat bells will help you to become stronger. Why is that? The Meow Meow Temple Shop, that's actually here top left corner of the map. You can go to it by, well, clicking on the respective Meow Meow thingy. Sells you oscillating jade. There's only 20 in stock, okay? However, you'll need tons of them, so every single more helps. The jade is needed for the next upgrade spree, and that would be under gear and then enhance. However, before we talk about this, we haven't talked about our second tree, the actual talents that you get for gathering enlightenment points by doing quests, discovering, going throughout the world. This one is also level gated, so at some point you won't be able to continue. Keep in mind that saving up your points is an option. I have actually put all the important points in, which are the main string points, plus here at the beginning, survive fatal damage ones, recover 20% HP, and gain 3 seconds of invulnerability. Yep, that one you get in the beginning, and it's a cheat death ability. What I'm not putting points in is precision rate, critical rate. Now, ignore these. I put some in affinity because I just had too many points, but ignore those and try to go through the middle. Since going through the middle in the beginning is responsible for actually unlocking your heavy attack, giving your more mystic skill slots that you can actually, well, slot 4 of them, which is extremely important. However, later on, you get better things than just precision rate and critical rate. Because here we can then put points into actual physical defense, actual minimum physical attack, maximum physical attack. That's going to be nifty to boost up. However, here at the end, you also get the immune to a single instance of damage exceeding 30% of your max HP. Yep, not bad if you fight a boss who's going to have some super damage ultra hit. You want that. Good, now let's get to the average level and enhancing your gear. This pretty much wholesale increases the min and max physical attack of your left-handed weapon, min and max physical attack of your right weapon. It's going to increase your max HP and your physical defense. And down here we get max physical attack power again. Now, you will need a lot of oscillating jade. This is 5 per upgrade. And as we can see here on my right-handed weapon right now, we also do need the raw ore. Now you're going to say, Pony, you have 432 oscillating jade. That's going to be simple for you. Well, I have to upgrade it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. 5 times. That's already 25 of that jade and 10 of that raw ore. Now I need to upgrade this 5 times, and I need to upgrade this 5 times, and this 5 times. Yeah, that's a lot of my ore gone, and the same goes on over here on the side. Now, gathering the raw ore is quite simple because it's just simply stone that are hanging around. And if you click on that button, it shows you there is 3, there would be 5. So if I now travel to this location, it's going to give me the area until I have gathered those 3 stones, things that are in the area, right? And as soon as you then have those 3 stones gathered, it will show you the next area where these 3 stones are. Don't forget that your sensing ability can help you here to actually reveal where stone could be, because this is a rather biggish area and, well, stones are quite harsh to see. The same goes for the other material. That would be your actual coarse fur you need with hunt giant elk, Z deer, gray wolf, wild boar, ADC. And I'll click on the elk. Well, there is one elk here, so I can hunt him down. Then he shows me the next elk and the next elk and the next elk. So you can go on a hunting spree. However, don't feel bad of actually buying them. You can click on this and go for the general goods vendor and use your coins for this. He has 99 in stock and respecs weekly. I would just simply buy this instead of farming. But if you have the time, if you're level gated, if you've reached level 40 anyways and have done all the discovery, might as well farm. Keep in mind though to upgrade your greaves and your armor first, because both of these give you actual physical defense while the others just give you maximum HP. So that will be the 2 most important ones to do. This enhance needs to be always as high as possible because it's directly responsible for you doing more damage and surviving better. It's directly responsible just for your power rating to go up. And this power rating is not just an arbitrary number, it does actually show how strong you are and if you're strong enough for certain activities. As you might have joined the online mode, it always says we need a certain martial prowess of 5,400, 6,000, right? You notice your prowess is not high enough because, well, you haven't enhanced your gear. Are you still with me? Small breather. I said 8 systems. We got more to go through. Next one are our inner ways. And so far, we can only equip inner ways. And it would be 3 if you actually made it all the way to level 40. Now, these inner ways get unlocked by exploration. Then you can click on them and boom, comprehend. I only have 10% of the moral chance so far. I could go to a vendor and buy more because this one is actually sold by a vendor. The other ones I get from killing those story bosses from the blue book quests or from taking down every single world boss, discovering, opening chests, all that kind of stuff. Now you're going to ask, Pony, how much can they really make you stronger? I'm glad that you're asking. For example, my adaptive steel here. Gain martial art effect based on your current blade weapon. I'm using a sword, so I have a 10% chance to apply a stack of bleed to the target when dealing affinity damage. Perfect. Because I play the strategic sword, and the strategic sword also applies bleed with the forward slashing. And then if I go for my special skill, it consumes the bleed for a massive damage blaster. Already, by using that specific inner art, I am, boom, looking for a huge damage increase. Then we get our bitter season, which says when dealing damage, there's a 10% chance to apply a poison. This poison also reduces the physical defense of the target by 0.6%, stacking up to 5 times. Now, there's the thing you need to keep in mind. You can actually upgrade these inner ways. Not yet, sadly, but you'll be able to upgrade them to get more out of one. And here you really then want to focus on the things that do help what you're doing directly. Sure, you could take something like Evening Snow. Within 12 seconds after entering combat, if HP falls below 60%, gain snow vision for 4 seconds, restoring HP. But is that really what you're looking for? Because optimally, you don't want to lose 60% HP in the first 12 seconds of the combat. You want to be good at deflecting and all that kind of stuff, and then you're good to go. So you'd rather be looking for more damage. For example, I am currently deflecting a lot, and I have a skill slot left, so I like to take the Divine Roulette. Upon successful deflection, gain one of the following effects. Increase the next skill damage, guaranteed critical, guaranteed affinity hit. The effect lasts 10 seconds and can only trigger once every 30 seconds. It is good, but not super strong. A better one would actually unlocking the Moral Chant. Attacking or healing has a chance to grant 1 stack of effect that increases your damage. Healing stacking up to 5 times. It can only be triggered every 2 seconds. Okay, that's amazing because it's like, it gives you a total of 5 to 8% more damage down the line. The Moral Chant, by the way, you buy from the vendor here in the Blissful Retreat, left side of the first region. This guy, the White Chang Merchant. You get 10 pages of the Moral Chant, and you need all 10 to unlock it. However, it's going to cost you Echo Jade and 5,000 Echo Jade of that. Expensive, but worth it. Now let's go back to your develop menu, abilities, and for your Mystic skills. Because these Mystic skills can not only be used, they can also be upgraded. If you actually click on the respective Mystic skill, bottom right, it says upgrade. For this, you will need the Eben Iron. The Eben Iron you can easily get from the Outpost challenges. Either you're going to grab those on your first clear, and you can do successive clears, or go into the online mode and get more of those. I actually got myself 45 in one single session online, and those Outposts online, they take 10 seconds. 5 people just going blah, 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 easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now here, I won't really tell you to focus on one because I personally upgraded all of them. My Guardian Palm that I use, fully upgraded to rank 9, and currently looking to break through because character level, but I require level 41 to actually break through. And you really want to do this because it's going to increase your damage wholesale. However, to then break through, you'll need something like Buddha's Tier Root, which you can buy from the season shop. Or you could go on a farm. Again, gather Buddha's Tier Ginseng, which has a chance to actually drop the root. There's quite a lot of this. If you have time, gather this ahead of time. And each of these skills, they need something different. They always do need the Eben Iron to upgrade, but then with level 41 to break through, we still have another 2 days to actually gather these. They need something else. He needs Vicious Fruit, so we need to gather Vicious Flower, and then pray that we're lucky. But, I mean, come on. There is 9, 12, 15, 17, 22. If I'm not able to actually get 5 of those vicious fruit, god damn it, come on now. And in this menu, you can upgrade another thing. Go over to General and then actually your Touch of Death. Yes, because your Touch of Death, your assassination skill, will fall off over time. It's roughly at 1,900 damage base, and I'm sitting at 2,035. That's 135% more damage already, and it gets more and more and more. And you want to keep one-hit assassinating people and not fall off, do you? Now, we already briefly touched on your stats here. Luckily, we're level gated, right? So you're going to have your time to get this up to 50 by the time you reach level 60, which is going to be, what, in 6 or 7 days when we finally can get so far. However, the most important one to get up is probably your constitution, that we can actually wear the armor. You get this for clearing outposts, so that's good. It's quite easy. But you can also, as we then have Kai Fang now, do sumo wrestling. Yep, I recommend to do this. It's a very fun rock, paper, scissors game, and it will make your constitution skyrocket. And end of the day, the more constitution you have, the easier it will be to win in these wrestling challenges. And also increase the chance of self-healing during illness evolution down the line. Yes, with musicality and constitution. That's pretty nifty. Are you still with me? Because we're not done yet, since there are things to talk about that will unlock very soon in this version of our game as well. For this, we're going to quickly jump into the Chinese client so I can show you some cool stuff. First and foremost, as you can see down here, I need 50 coordination or constitution to actually wield my armor. As you can see, yeah, it's not possible for me to put this on. But then we're going to get the tune button. And the tune button allows you to upgrade your equipment to give you more health, for example. You're going to be clicking here on the right side and you add old item pieces and some gold to then improve your item. You can add even more to improve this further. So how much ever you feel like putting into this, right? Boom, now it's at 100 out of 100. It costs you obviously more gold to do. And then, wow, the item is now upgraded. It gives you more accuracy. It gives me more attack. Tuning was successful. This will wholesale increase the damage of your weapons, for example, the actual attack power. Very nifty. Now you're going to say, Pony, but if I upgrade low-level equipment, am I not just wasting things? Well, first and foremost, you got a lot of stuff just flying around in your inventory. My inventory is currently sitting at 122 out of 138. So I got a lot of things to tune my other stuff. That's why I'm also not selling old equipment. And we will receive another level of power. That is exactly where your enhancement is. You remember the enhancement here where we had to jump, up, and up. There's also going to be the arsenal. And the arsenal is from level 41 onwards, storing your old equipment. And by storing old equipment, by putting good equipment in there, you will actually increase your attack maximum and minimum and maximum HP. Yes. By putting your old equipment here into this menu, into this arsenal, you will become stronger. So you actually want to upgrade now your level 31 equipment or your level 41 equipment to then, as you're leveling up further to 51, to 56, to 61, put that in here into the arsenal to increase you. For example, right now, this is sitting at 886 out of 1,000. And as you can see, I could still upgrade my old chest piece. I could upgrade my, boots and whatsoever. So actually that this reaches 1,000 and I'm able to get more bonuses. And the same goes further and further and further. So you actually want to take the effort to upgrade your stuff to then be more powerful down the line. And that all adds up together to a good amount of power. You need all of these stats to really be strong. And since we talked about inner way upgrading, let's quickly take a peek of it. Here, bottom right, it says 0 out of 10. And it says breakthrough, gain martial arts damage increased by 30%. This is combined to the blue martial arts, right? To your sword martial arts, the one from the nameless sword and the one from the strategic sword. That would be just 30% more damage if I go for the first thing. And then we get even more upgrades down the line. For this, you'll need, again, upgrade books that we will be able to buy from the seasonal store. However, that's future music. We haven't unlocked that yet. Don't worry though, as soon as it is unlocked, we will make another video going over this properly in English. Finally, we reached the end. Any other questions left to increase your player power? Put that in the comments below, and also watch the video on how to fly, more tips for the game, or the secret Region 1 end boss. Take care and have a wonderful good day.